Boy do I, you're going to die. Sorry, that's the hell of a way to start the video, but you've known this your whole life, and somewhere in the back of your mind you've probably asked the same strange question I'm coming back to. Why so soon? Why do we get maybe 80 years when some creatures can get 500? Why we can live for 1,000 years? Or even 2,000? We can send a Tesla into deep space for no reason, we can edit genes and we can make something like ChatGPT, but keeping a human body past 120 years, that still feels impossible. And yet, right now, on the bottom of the ocean, there's a clam that was alive before Shakespeare was born. It's just chilling there. So, what's going on? Why is love so wildly different in how long it lasts? Why we can live for 1,000 years? Or we can. 122. Let's start with a number that should bother you more than it actually does. That's the record. Jeanne Calment, French woman born in 1875. She lived to 122 years. She met Vincent van Gogh as a teenager when he came into her father's paint shop. She smoked until she was 170. Ate a kilo of chocolate every week, and that kept going. Now here is the strange part. She died in 1997. Since that we've had almost 30 years of insane medical progress. They have gene therapy and AI-designed drugs. And still, no one came close to beating her record. The next two people on the list both died in 119 years. It's like there's an invisible wall sitting at around 120 years. We doubled the average lifespan in just one century, from about 32 years in 1900 to over 80 today in rich countries, but the maximum barely moved. Before we get too deep into why we die, let's just appreciate how completely chaotic lifespan is in nature. Some mayflies live their entire adult life in less than 5 minutes. 5 minutes. They're born, they hook up and they die. Some don't even have mouth because they don't live long enough to need food. A mouse gets maybe 2 or 3 years, a dog gets 15 if it's lucky. A bowhead whale clears 200 years, and a Greenland shark can hit 500. Yeah, 500. And there is a shark swimming around in the Arctic right now that was already old when Newton was figuring out gravity. It was there during the Renaissance and it's still there. And there is the mink, the ocean quahog Calment. In 2006, scientists pulled it up off Iceland. It was 507 years old. They named it after Ming Dynasty, and then accidentally killed it while trying to figure out how old it was. Science sometimes has moments. But the absolute champion is
Turtopsis storni.
The immortal jellyfish. When it gets old, sick or stressed, it just reverses. It collapses back into a baby polyp and starts its life over. In theory, it can do this forever. Biologically immortal. So, biology can do immortality, it just didn't bother giving it to us. Here's the cold truth. Evolution doesn't care about you happy, healthy or fulfilled in 90. It only cares that you pass on your genes before you die, and that's it. Once you've had kids and helped them survive, your body becomes kind of optional. It's really expensive to maintain. It's taking up space and competing for food with your own offsprings. This idea is called the disposable soma theory. Your body, the soma, is basically a rental car for your genes. After the genes are delivered, maintenance level drops dramatically. There's even a brutal example: Huntington's disease. It's fatal, destroys your brain, but symptoms usually start after 40. By then, most people have already had children. So, evolution never solved the problem. The genes slid through because it only kicks in after reproduction. We are, in a sense, programmed to fall apart once we've done our evolutionary job. But what does that program actually look like inside you right now? Aging isn't one thing. It's a bunch of things going wrong at the same time. Every time your cells divide, the telomeres, little protective caps on your DNA, get shorter. Eventually, they get too short and the cell either stops working or dies. This is Half-Life limit. Then you have senescent cells. Zombie cells. They don't die, but they don't work properly either. They just sit there pumping out information, making everyone around them age faster. On top of that, your mitochondria, the batteries of your cells, get damaged. Your epigenetics, the software that controls your genes, starts glitching. It's like an old hard drive slowly filling with errors. And here's the crazy fact, after age 40 your risk of death doubles every 8 years. This is called the Gompertz law. It's terrifyingly consistent across humans. All of this slowly compounds until the system breaks down. Here's where it gets exciting. In the last few years, scientists have started treating aging less like an availability and more like a problem that can be solved. They're using senolytics, drugs that clear out those zombie cells. They are experimenting with particular cellular reprogramming using Yamanaka factors, basically hitting a rewind on old cells. In mice, they have already restored vision, improved organ function, and some cases extended lifespan by 25 to 30%. Companies with billions behind them are working on turning biological age backwards. Some serious researchers now say that 150 years is realistic in this century. A few are even bolder. So, we don't know if they're right, but the fact that this conversation is happening in top labs, not in sci-fi, but in peer-reviewed papers, is wild. And yet, even if we solve the body, the real questions are bigger. What happens to a mind after 150 or 200 years? Will curiosity stay alive? Will relationships survive that long? Will life still feel urgent when death is no longer waiting around the corner? You might spend 80 or 100 years in old age. Will that feel like a gift or something else? How will societies handle huge number of people working or not working at 120? What happens to progress when the same people stay in power for decades longer? We have no idea. No human has ever lived through it. So maybe the deepest question isn't can we live longer, it's what do we become if we do? The mayfly burns bright for 5 intense minutes. The Greenland shark drifts through centuries in cold silence. We get roughly 80 to 90 years of color, chaos, love, failure, discovery, and meaning. Perhaps that window isn't a limitation. Perhaps it's the perfect amount of time to actually care about anything. We are the first generation that might get to choose how long that window lasts. What do you think? Is someone offer you a reliable way to reach 150 or 200 years? Will you take it? Let me know in the comments, I actually read them, and thank you for spending some of your limited time with me today. See you!